Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Seekers of Truth. Here, I'm just going to be going live a little bit everywhere. So if you see my face up close, I'm going to do this. Okay, I think it should work now. There we go. Is it working? Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So hello again. So today our subject, we're going to be talking about our higher self. How do we communicate with our higher self? What we do, what we both experienced, and all that. It'd be awesome if you guys can let us know a little bit too about your experience and see how it works for you. But before we begin with all of this, I just wanted to let you know that this weekend we had an awesome event.
Yeah.
So Jade and Hannah, they are both business partners, and they're with Soulful Sanctuary, and they created this beautiful little retreat yesterday, and it was really, really amazing. And got to play the bowls there. We had Natalie, that she was doing her psychic readings. We had Teresa, thank you. Yeah. It escaped me there for a second. Teresa, and she had her beautiful pyramids. I'll try and see if I can post a couple of her pyramids up. They're really, really awesome. They're made with the resin and different little stones and stuff like that inside of it. And she infuses it with energy also.
Mm-hmm.
Is she a Reiki?
Yep.
She's a Reiki master. Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I know, yeah. It was a really, really good event. The theme for it was spring equinox. So we did a whole bunch of grounding practices, bringing through the summer, basically the sun coming out of that hibernation, and just kind of taught people a little bit about everything, journaling to energy work to all of that. We had a whole bunch of activities that we got to do, a lot of grounding, a lot of meditation, teach people on that as well. So it was really, really awesome. We had a really good turnout of people. So our next event is going to be on May 31st. So I think we're going to have it at the same place outside of Cochrane here near Bright Creek.
Cool.
We are already starting to plan on it. So I'll give you guys more details once we get closer. But if this is something that you like, and you like spirituality, and you like connecting with other people, and you like learning about all these different type of things and meeting different practitioners, then let us know, and we can sign you up for our next one. But yeah, I'll grab you guys like the details of exactly what we're going to be doing at the next one.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it was really successful. It was super nice, and it was so nice to walk in the woods too. We took a nice, I don't know, was it like an hour?
Probably like an hour, almost an hour and a half.
An hour and a half long, yeah.
We took you guys on a pretty good walk. Really grounded you down.
Yeah, but it was so nice because then there was the fire too. We did a little fire and get together and talk some more, and yeah, it was just so many beautiful events. And as you're going to see, we have two puppies here with us. We have here little Sophie, and then afterwards we're gonna have another one. She keeps going up and down a little bit, but it's Maya, and she'll probably just hop up on me while we're talking and stuff. So, actually, even so before even beginning everything, we didn't choose a bowl. If you want to choose a bowl, or do you want me to choose it for you since I'm free?
Sure. She's so cute.
She is cute, yeah. Did you want this one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna bring you your ring too. You forgot one of your rings there.
I did?
Yeah. One of your see-through ones. For the bowls.
Oh, for the bowl. Okay,
Next time
yeah.
I see you, I'll bring it to you.
Oh, no problem. It's all good.
Did you want to do the bowl this time?
I'll do the bowls. Okay, all right. Awesome.
Yay. Oh my gosh, she's so adorable.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, we have the other dog here too, but here. Let's clear a space. Been a pretty busy weekend. This was actually really nice.
I know. I think she actually kind of liked it. I think I freaked her out at first, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
The high pitch, I guess, too. Did you
Oh.
want to come up? Yeah, there we go. So this is Maya. She's a cutie. We're just babysitting for 2 weeks for friends of ours. So they love to cuddle. They really like to stick
I
to
know
us.
she likes to stick to you.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
does. She's very gluey, but it's all good. Eh? We enjoy that, and we need some of that too. All right. So to begin, yeah, we were talking about the higher self. So I guess the first question is basically, what is the higher self? Um, everybody kind of talks about it, but nobody really kind of explains what it's about or where it comes from and all that. So I'll just explain maybe a little bit of what I think or my understanding of it.
mm-hmm.
So the higher self, we have the soul and we have spirit, right? And with the soul, again, this is all my understanding of it, and if there's anything that you guys want to bring in or a different perspective, that would be really, really awesome. So the soul, for my understanding, is a lot to do, I guess you can say, more so with the mind. So it's more with human traits, our thoughts, our character, all of our senses and stuff like that comes from the soul that we have. It's that connection between what's above, I guess, if you want to talk about it as higher ups or the universe or God. It's kind of having that connection between above and below. And for me, the understanding of spirit is basically, it's just basically one. It's the light. It's what brings life basically within us. Our first breath, death. It's just absolutely everything all in one. And I know I've heard that, with different things that people hear, the spirit lies like right here in between the rib cage and things like that. I don't know about that. I just hear different stories about it. I don't know where it lies within us. I guess I would say for myself, it's almost like a feeling. It would be mostly in the heart.
Yeah.
But that's what I feel. Like it's my perspective on that. So I don't know if it's a little bit different for you or.
I think so. I feel like I feel it mostly in the chest too, especially because like when I try to call her in and like bring her out more,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine her kind of getting bigger from the inside.
Yeah.
Until it's like she's my size, my full size. But I genuinely do feel very light at the end of it.
When you say her, like, do you feel it's still like it has its own entity and then there's you, or is it? Is there still separation between the two, or is it as one?
Ooh, Kate. So
sorry, I kind of put you on the spot.
That's actually a good question though, because I think at the beginning when I first did that, I definitely did view us as like two separate beings. But then when I started practicing a lot more, I realized that she is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just a higher form, higher self.
Yeah.
But like there is no such thing as separation between her and me.
Okay. It's
And
almost
so,
like the wiser self.
Yeah.
Wiser part of you, I guess, is the best way of
exactly
putting it together. Yeah. Okay.
Like that's the thing too, is like when you bring her into, like I find that like I'm a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel that connection a lot more with like everything. Like there's no separation between anything.
Yeah.
And I guess like I guess more of a conscious, but like I'm already a good person. I mean, I like, but it's weird. It's just like more of a knowing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody's arguing with me and I've like called her in the morning, suddenly like I don't feel this urge to argue with them. I just feel this urge just to listen and then go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do associate that very much with her when I do it quite often. I do call her in. But yeah. We have one lady that said something.
Yeah.
Marie France.
Oh,
said,
it's my aunt. Yeah.
Higher being.
Higher being. Yeah. Yeah. Higher self.
Yeah.
Higher being. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's the wiser part of of us.
Yeah.
That we kind of tap into and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
One day, you know what we should do?
Mm.
We should do a video like this, but where we have like a diagram or something like that of like every part. So like the higher self and the spirit and like the soul and the ego and the conscious and the unconscious parts.
Yeah.
We should totally.
Yeah.
I feel like that would make it so much more easier for people to kind of understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, to visually see.
To visually see.
True.
I was just thinking about that when she said that. I was like, ooh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That's
That's
even
a good
helpful
idea.
for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to remember. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that part of us, we always forget on a constant basis.
Do you know what's so funny? I have this note in my phone now, and I literally have like named it like "Remember to Remember."
Yes.
It's like everything. So
we are very forgetful beings, unfortunately. So yeah, that is really an important part to remember. To remember all the time. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then I guess the next thing would be, once we kind of have an understanding about that, is to differentiate between our ego and the higher self. So when we ask ourselves a question or when we want to make a decision, how do we know which choice or decision to take?
I feel like that takes a little practice.
Yeah, big time.
Cause I mean, like even like I think I'm like so good at it and everything like that, and then I'll do something. I'm like, oh, that was totally my ego, and I'm like, ooh, I'm actually still learning. But I feel like that's with everybody. Like it gets a little bit easier, but your ego is like sneaky, so you just gotta be like on it.
Sneaky, yeah.
It really is, because like really with you trying to differentiate between what like your higher self is trying to tell you to do and when like your ego is trying to tell you to do something. As you start to go down that journey, I feel like what you'll just get at is like this point when you're just going to go even deeper into yourself and see how far your ego stretches.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, how do you see it?
I remember asking this question like many years back, and the person that had explained it to me was basically, your ego is always there for, it's not a bad thing by any means, right? It's always a protection. It's there to protect you in so many ways.
Yeah.
So the only difference, or the biggest difference that you can know between the two is, are you oh my gosh, basing it on fear or more of a passion type thing, an excitement, right? So when you ask the question, should I do this or should I do that? Which one brings more excitement to you? Like, which one is more joyous for you? Then that's the one that you work with. Though, by saying that, sometimes, let's say, I don't know, there's another decision where you're like, okay, well, I want to do this, but I'm fearful of it. Then that's where it confuses me a little bit.
Right?
Because then I'm like, okay, but yes, I'm fearful of it, but you have to go through your fears in order to reach that other side of you, I guess, or to grow from certain things. So, yeah, it's still sometimes a little bit of wishy-washy on that part. Even myself, at my age, I'm still learning. But, I mean, if it's, basis of, let's say, my work life, or, would I rather do this or do that, it's easy to kind of decide, because I go with the one that brings me joy. Though again, there's certain decisions where I know I'm fearful of it because I don't have a knowledge on it, and that's what the fear comes from, is the lack of knowledge. Every time we don't know about something, we become scared. Let's just say, this is really extreme, but we're talking about aliens or something, right? And when we talk about aliens, we know nothing about them. So what happens is that we're in that protective mode, so we're kind of fearful of it.
Yeah. We kind of close ourselves to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, again, for me, like you, I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Big time.
I know, like that actually came to mind too when you're talking about that. I was like, oh my god, I have so many things I want to do though that I am so fearful about that. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
no way. And it's like, oh my god, the idea that kind of actually came to head when you said that is like, oh my gosh, you know when you go to like a lake or something like that, and like there's like a little cliff there, and you see everybody jumping off it. Always in my head, I'm like, I want to do that, but I am not going to do it because that looks so freaking scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't help too, because there's been times when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and people are like, don't look down when you're going, or you're gonna get whiplashed, and don't hold somebody. And then I'm suddenly like, oh my god, I'm gonna do all those things now.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no.
They're like, you actually have to have core strength to do this, and I'm like, I don't have any.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Well, it depends on the decision making. Like, I mean, if it's for having fun, I guess you don't necessarily have to do it, because if there's a danger to it, I mean, you know, there's all, even the fact of like myself, I would do so many different things, but because I'm a mom, it stops me from doing it, because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not here anymore, you know, if I pass away, then you know, it's not a really good decision, right? So, I mean, when they're independent and you know out of the house, it's a different state at that point.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean on that part. But yeah, I for sure is. I guess
that was just one thing that came to mind. You know what I mean? Because it is exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those type of things. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is that for myself, you know, I don't believe in living a life where everything is just routine. That just thinking about that, like.
I just imagine the color gray.
Gray, yes, yeah, for sure, and it's boring. Like, I mean, you're not evolving, you're not trying, you're not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
Of course, there's always a risk, and there's consequences, but I still want to try them out anyway. So, yeah. I don't know if is there like a way that you communicate with your higher self and stuff, or there are many different ways, or.
I guess there's a lot of ways. Tell us your way too. That's the question I want to put there.
Yeah.
I just meditate. I haven't done it in a while, to be honest. I should do it again. But I just kind of meditate, and I get into my zone, and then I just imagine her coming from within and expanding till she's like the same height and bigness of me. And then once I'm there, and I just visualize her just like looking like me.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, like, just like me, you know what I mean? And then, once I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, I feel really, really connected to her and stuff, then I'll start asking her questions. And I'll ask her, like, what should I do in this situation?
Yeah.
Like, what should I do with this? And I'll get some really, really cool answers. I find that, I mean, with anything, it doesn't come straight away sometimes. Sometimes it's like when I'm coming out of the meditation, I'm saying like, okay, thank you. And I'm like leaving, that suddenly I'll have like a thought in my head, and I'm like, I need to go and do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really cool, and it's like, yeah, that excitement part, actually. I get really overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, but overfilled with joy or on something. Even if like the matter I brought to her was like, crazy. It's I don't know, the way to solve it seems pretty joyful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that, okay, I hope that makes sense. Like, yeah, because I'm like, yeah, it is a joyful solution, to be honest.
Okay.
But, yeah, and I think most of the time, I like, yeah, problems too and stuff like that, but I'm always like, problems will come and go. You know, I don't have to worry about it too much. But I kind of go to her more so for, like, trying to open up my way of thinking.
Yeah.
Whenever I find I'm, like, too stuck and narrow,
yes, yeah.
then I'm like, okay, open me up a little bit, like my perspective wise. That one you have to be a little bit careful with, I've come to realize, because you don't know which way your mind's actually going to open to, because what you're going into sometimes is like the unknown of the unknown. So you're basically, you can open up in a direction that you didn't even think you could open up in, that you didn't even know existed. And suddenly you're just like, oh,
There's more possibilities.
There's just so much more possibilities. It's amazing, but just be mindful.
It could be endless, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I guess maybe most people they have a tendency of saying, okay, we'll stay a little bit more into the moment now.
Yeah.
And so what comes to you now is what I don't know, you can go forth with, or you think about, or instead of even like with even with the company like Seekers of Truth, right? I had a few people like, what is the truth? I mean, there's so many different rabbit holes that you can kind of really go into, right? My like I always say, yes, there is this one truth. It's not my truth or your truth, because then we're going into the belief system. And the belief, I mean, could go in so many different directions too, right? But it's more of a very linear human type of concept. Like you said, you know, it's like a tunnel vision of just seeing things one way. Yeah. Whereas when I talk about the truth, it's the whole aspect in one. So there's a really sincerely no separation between one to another. There's no separation between this table and myself, or Sophie and myself, or anything of that, right? Like, yes, okay, she's a puppy, but she's still one with me, type thing. But it's a really hard concept to accept, I guess, for most people.
It is, and I think it's a little bit easier too, because you can't necessarily think about it and like, I don't know, go down that hole of being like, I am you and you and me, and like thinking about it and all that. You just have to feel it.
You have to feel it, yeah, exactly.
It's more so feeling, of
yeah.
that connectedness.
Yeah. And then we talk about all the parallel universes and all this and
all
that. So
the quantum leap being the parallel universe leaping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the different selves.
Do you think you've ever have jumped into different universes of your consciousness?
I did once. I do remember really vividly.
Yeah.
I was doing a meditation with this was years ago. His name was Zig Ziglar.
Who?
Zig Ziglar.
Zigzag.
Zigzag, yeah. I was just listening to his CDs at the time.
Okay.
And I was on the sofa and I was just doing it on a daily basis. And then one day, so he literally brings you deeper and deeper within yourself, right? And it got to a point where I was again conscious, but not quite conscious and unconscious all at the same time. And do you remember Stargate? You remember when they opened that wormhole, and then when you go through it, they would show you how it was exactly the same vision. So it was almost like going through a really beautiful tunnel with all these different colors and flashes, and so I was going through that. And I remember that even though I was going through it, I was still connected to my body because I could still feel my breath. Because I was starting to go like, oh my God, this is like really intense. But in my mind, I said, okay, just breathe. And I was just breathing, and I was calming myself down to keep myself neutral, because I knew that I was going to pop out of it if I started breathing too fast or anything of the sort. Anyways, so I was just going through the tunnel, and then I was out in the universe, and I saw a planet that was very similar to ours. And then I asked the question, I said, where am I on there? And the planet was spinning until it found me, and then I zoomed in onto myself in that area. And I was like this businesswoman, I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, it was me, but just in a different, completely different, altered state, I guess.
Oh, Wall Street Jose. That's actually crazy. Isn't that crazy how like life paths you could have gone down?
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of scary. Like going through the tunnel you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was intense, man. Yeah, it was like a wormhole basically that you were going through, and I don't know if it happens really that way for everybody, or if it was because I saw that and I brought it into my reality. I don't know. Like, I can't really tell you on that part, but that was how my experience was. And then, it was the exact same way of coming back. It was like, okay, I was happy just seeing myself, and I said, it's, time to go back. And I went back into the wormhole, and I just woke up. And It was pretty cool. That was the one cool experience. I think it was the only time though I've ever really done it that way. So, did you have any experiences like that, or not yet?
Not yet. I'm still trying. I will get there.
It's all good. Yeah.
I just have to like, I don't know. I guess I never really like was curious too much about like what I was doing in my prayer. Because I mean, I could think about it as an endless possibility.
Yeah.
But I think that it would be kind of cool to kind of see it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they call that with the quantum jumping, right? Like whenever you
Yeah.
want to learn something in this reality, go see yourself in another reality doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, yeah.
Honestly, to be honest, I feel like maybe like I have kind of like I don't know fully quantum leaped or whatever what it would be called. But I remember in high school I got really into it. And when I look back on it, I was always like, maybe I did, because I manifested and I like meditated so much during this like one point trying to like quantum leap and everything, and I don't even know what it was. I mean, I guess I was really just trying to have more of what I wanted at the time,
Yeah.
which was basically just understanding and joy and all that stuff. And like within like the last like couple years from then, I just went on this huge like journey. And I don't think I quantum like leaped in that moment, but I think I pulled everything a lot faster to me.
Yeah.
And I think I went through so many hurdles, like one after the other, like boom, 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 boom.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I think, yeah, because I think about everything that I went through, and I'm like, that was actually a lot. And people are like, oh, you're so wise for your age, you've done so. And like, I'm very much embedded into the spiritualness, and I've started so much right now that I'm like, oh, I think I definitely pulled all those hurdles that happened right now because I wanted it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's as close as I've gotten to. But
Good.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. I was like, that was actually pretty nice, to be honest, to just go through all of that, get it over with. Obviously, like I still learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
Because again, you have to, because if not, it's just gonna keep on repeating itself. It doesn't
Yes.
matter how slow or fast it comes. You gotta take something from it and actually learn.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Mm. No, that's pretty cool. It's I mean, obviously for everybody it's a different experience, but before getting back like to the next subject, I know that you had explained about how you communicate and stuff like that, and it was just through the meditation. For me, it was actually more with automatic writing. When I started doing automatic writing. So the reason why I went in that direction is because I couldn't differentiate in here, like when it was my higher self or just me talking or the ego or whatever. So I kept doubting myself on that part. Not to say that when I was doing the automatic writing, everything, was hunky-dory. It took time too. Though it was more, maybe for me, it was more visual and more believable because it was really not coming from, it wasn't me writing. Like I felt like it was something else holding my hand and doing it. So it was more believable, I guess you can say, for myself on that part.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know I have tried to do like the automatic writing and stuff, and like it is so weird.
I
I think I prefer this more because that sometimes I'm like, oh, it doesn't work, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god. I have to like take a break, and I'm like, that was a lot. Because yeah, when you really like let them take a hold, they're like, okay, like let's go. You have to like be like, okay, slow down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Be delicate. Don't grab my hand. Like.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it depends on the whoever it is that's around you and stuff. Now I'm used to it, so that's why I don't even. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I have fun with it. And I remember at the beginning too, I couldn't even understand what they were writing.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just so.
I'm still at that point where like it does look like gibberish.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I can slowly starting to make it out more.
Okay.
I think it's because I do it with like my spirit guides and stuff mostly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I can kind of tell. Well, not tell, but like I can know who's kind of which one steps up to like control and everything like that, because they kind of have a little bit of different ways of writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the
which is
handwriting
really cool.
sometimes is different. And
Yeah.
sometimes the pressure is different. Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's crazy too, because I'm like, that's not my handwriting. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
know, yeah.
And you're like, oh, that really wasn't me because I can't replicate that. You know. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We have somebody that said something else. I think this is in Italian. Italian conversation.
She's saying it's too bad that it's not in Italian. Conversation isn't in Italian. Oh, sorry, I know. Maybe actually someday what I'll probably do is do the translation, the writing that's coming up on the screen. I'll do it in Italian too. So
I could kind of learn Italian. I know a bit of French. We could try.
I know. Anyways, one day we'll try to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
As we grow, that's how it's gonna work.
This is your cousin? No.
Sorry. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna have to ask my aunt because I know her. We do talk from time to time. Unfortunately, I have to use a translator sometimes because writing, I don't really know how to write in Italian.
Oh yeah.
But I've written to her, and yeah, no, she's really sweet, and she's been writing to me for the last little bit, so I do appreciate it, and I will try to figure out how to translate this in Italian.
It's your cousin Peanut in it. Okay.
It is, yeah, exactly, that's what I thought, yeah. Yeah, she's our cousin in Italy, yeah.
I like how I was like, oh, it's your cousin. You're like, oh, I'll have to double check.
Yeah. It's because I've never met her in person. We have family in Italy, and I still haven't met them all. So, anyways, maybe someday.
That's how you know you're Italian. When you have that much family.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. Oh, jeez.
Where were we?
Yeah, about communication. So, yes, I do the automatic writing, but there's also sometimes when, so this was the other story that I want to let you guys know too. It was really interesting. It happened to me. It probably happened to me more than once, but this one really stood out for me. It was like years ago when I first moved out to Alberta. So we're talking about like almost 17 years ago now. My husband at the time and myself, and I had a dog. I had a chocolate lab. We were going out and we were heading out to a cabin for the weekend, and I don't remember what was happening at that moment, but for whatever reason, my ex, he was really angry about something, and basically made the drive there like pretty miserable. Then obviously I was angry and frustrated, and my dog was really sick too at the same time.
Oh.
I was like, nothing was going right. Anyways, we got to the cabin, and I was going up on the stairs. It was literally right before I was going inside the door. I turned around because my ex had called my name, and when I turned around, all of a sudden I was seeing this like butterfly. We're talking about in the middle of winter here. This white butterfly that kind of flies right in front of me and is soaring upwards. And I remember looking at it, not even realizing that it was winter and what the heck was this butterfly doing there. But I was just watching it. I was kind of mesmerized, and then I realized like how close we were to the mountains. I was so blinded by the anger and frustration and stuff like that. I wasn't looking at my surroundings, and so this butterfly obviously showed it to me, and I was stunned because it was just so beautiful, and I was like, how could I miss this? Like, we were driving and I didn't even see it. And then obviously a couple of minutes later, then it clued in. I'm like, oh my God, there's a butterfly in the middle of winter. Like, where is this butterfly coming from? So I do feel like a lot of the times the higher self will kind of communicate with you. It's not always necessarily you communicating with your wisdom, I guess. So there's different kinds of and different ways that we just kind of help each other out throughout the whole time. Not expected, obviously not conscious at that moment. I was not in this moment in time, so I really appreciate the fact that those little things kind of happen. So it just brings you back into this reality right here, right now type thing. So that was a really, really cool little moment that happened. Yeah. And things afterwards, they were kind of like calming down, and I guess because I was calming down too, the whole situation was kind of calming down. So and we finally got to enjoy the weekend, but it's yeah, it's a pretty, anyways. It was at the time kind of an emotional experience for me, so it was pretty good. Oh, do we? Yeah.
That's
So
really cool
anyways.
though.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really nice. So
It's kind of nice too to know that like when you kind of need your higher self there, that they are there and they're gonna help redirect you.
yeah, redirect
That's-
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
guide you. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I like that story.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think anybody.
Bring you back your reality and ground you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely grounds you. So
Yeah. Being present.
being present, yeah.
Oh.
Especially when you're in that anger phase, it's like, ooh, man, does it ever bring you on another
You're
planet
angry?
sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally gone on that part, but yeah. Anyways, other than that, I don't think I really like doing that. Like I said, the automatic writing when it's for me to communicate.
Yeah.
And the only other time that I ask for help is if I'm doing a reading or something like that with someone. Then it's flashes of images, even though I don't really understand all the times what it means,
Yeah.
because it means something for the person, not necessarily for me. So on Saturday when I was at Foxy Box and I was doing an event over there too, and it was the same thing. I hadn't done a reading in quite a while. And out of the whole thing that I had to do, that was the part that was kind of like I was a little bit scared because I just hadn't practiced in so long. But anyways, everything kind of like flashed. Even before she arrived, I was getting all these images and stuff like that in my head, and so I guess that's a different way for me to communicate. But I only, like I said, do that when, or maybe I'm just mainly conscious about it because I'm doing a reading for somebody. Maybe the images do come to me and I don't really correlate it with the person that I'm with right now.
Yeah.
Again, because of I'm not conscious about it. So I don't know. I know you have that. You do that a lot actually with the readings, right? It's images that come into your mind and stuff. Or
yeah. Yeah, it's images that come into my mind. Actually, when you say higher self, yeah, I used to do that in the past too when I wasn't super confident in my reading. I used to be like, okay, higher self, bringing her in, and I was like, okay, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that if I was stumbling, like she would like save my butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get like I do get like the images and stuff. Sometimes like it's a quick flash. Sometimes it's something. I've had moments where it's just like a repetition of like words that happen.
Yeah.
Like one time I was giving somebody a reading, and I just like heard mom, 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 like over and over in my head. And so then it had nothing to do with the reading that we were doing, and then I was just like, nothing else was coming through, and I was like, I should just say that, and I told him, I was like, so just the word mum, 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 mum keeps on like coming to my head like that fast.
Yeah.
And then I found out that his like mom hadn't passed, and after I did that, it's kind of like a door opened, and suddenly everything came through.
Oh,
And I think I just needed to say the word mom, so then he opened up.
Yeah.
And then it kind of ran all the way through. But yeah, I think at the beginning it definitely was more so just pictures and the like feeling, obviously. But now I get like a lot of words.
A lot of words.
A lot of like sentences and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously the little bit of like mediumship too like helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, because honestly when I did get a little bit into my mediumship, it wasn't so much I would see things, but it was mostly like things being told to me, and it was like somebody was talking to me in the back of my head, and it's not like I could hear them, but like it was like a thought. Like it's so hard to explain. I sound so crazy. I sound like I have schizophrenia, but it wasn't like somebody was talking to me. It was like a thought that wasn't mine, but it was being said.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was very, very, it's very, very faint.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I'm not aware of it, I could completely just like miss it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing too is also about accepting.
Accepting?
Accepting, like like you were just saying, it almost feels like schizophrenia, like when you're talking to people, right? And you're
I
like,
know.
oh, okay.
I know. Sometimes I like explain it to my friends. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so I'm not crazy, like, because they're kind of like, oh.
I think it's a little bit more accepted now, though.
Oh, yeah.
More than when it was maybe when I was younger.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, I mean, there were barely any books or anything about it, right? And the books that were out, I remember they were pretty scary.
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I want to get into this. This is like kind of freaky, and
Yeah.
but nowadays it's different.
I
so.
would say, yeah, nowadays I do get either one where the people are kind of being supportive, but they're kind of like,
Yeah.
and that's when they're like, so like, what do you mean? And then other times, very much people, and I think these are people who just don't understand. Is like when they have the opposite response and they're like, oh, you have such a gift, and it is a gift. It is a gift, but I like it when people say that because I'm like, oh, thank you. But I also like to preach as much as possible as like, even though it's looked at as like a gift, everybody has the gift. It's just whether you're willing to bring it through or not.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It all has to do with what you want to do in your life.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's why I tell people, because they're like, oh, I can never. I'm like, you could.
Yeah. No, everybody can. It's not. It's not the fact that if you can or you can't. It's just, do you have an interest in learning about it? Firstly, exploring it or growing from it or not. And some people don't, and that's fine too. So there's no again, there's no real like good or bad. That I was taught with that's a very ego thing too. Like, I want to be a good person. Even if you are a good person, what makes you think you're a good person, right? So you're still kind of going into that ego phase of yourself instead of just saying, I just am type thing. I am that I am, and for quite. Is that for me?
I don't even know.
These books have been out for quite some time, as you always had people interested on this subject.
Oh, like the ones you're talking about, like they used to be like kind of scary back then, and nowadays it's like Louise Hay's, like.
No, that's good. That's
right?
actually.
I know, because like actually,
okay.
it is really true though. Because I mean, I look at books from like the past and everything, and they did dip into like more of like rule side and like all that type of stuff. And I feel like nowadays, well, the more like newer books, I don't know, this is just my perspective, have a lot to do with like manifestation and like, because people got so into that side. I feel like that's was the side that was like brought people very much into the lighter side of it. It's very much like, oh, you can create your reality, everything is okay, love and light.
Yeah.
The love and light saying.
Yeah, and in my day it was more like about entities. It was a huge thing. Like,
well, yeah, I see all the horror movies from like the early 2000s and the 90s. Like, that was
even
on
before
something
that.
else. Yeah, the 80s
I'm older there. It was kind of creepy, devilish.
Alien,
yeah, this and that. It's not to say that it's not here now. It's just because I think you have more of like you were talking about, more about the manifestation and a little bit more of the positive stuff. It counterbalances a bit.
Yeah.
Again, my understanding with that's the reason why we talk about good and evil not really existing. There is no such thing. It's what you create. So if you think about these devils or think about these whatever entities and stuff like that, it's a sense that humanity, not only you, but humanity created it. So yeah, of course it's there. It's whatever you think of, it manifests. So but again, that's a really hard concept, because I mean, when you talk about religion, you talk about just all the awful things that happen in the world too. It's a lot of people will say, well, how can you say there's no good and there's no bad? It just is, because again, you created it. When you solely really understand that your thoughts really do have that much power and that much momentum to get things started, it doesn't matter if it's the devil or if it's the angel. you know, whoever it is, you created that aspect of it. So
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit of that. Oh man, I don't know exactly how it goes with the wolves. You either feed. There's the white wolf and the black wolf. It's a shaman thing, and they say basically the one that you feed is the one that you know, creates your reality. So which one do you want to feed?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it right, but whatever. It's
No,
that
I get
concept.
what you mean though, because yeah, like shamans, they talk a lot about that, about how like they say that if you want to change the world, you need to change reality, which means you need to change the way you think of things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, you know.
I always thought of like humanity as being instead of humanity being in the earth, humanity being in a body, like a big body, basically.
Yeah.
And each cell is a different soul. So
that unsettles me, but it also makes me feel really happy.
yeah. Okay. Tell me why.
Nothing. I just became so aware of every single cell in my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because,
it's not something that I'm used to, but yeah. Now I could feel them all like rubbing against each other.
Yeah, that would be something. Well, it's just the fact of saying, okay, well, if I'm a cell in a body, do I want to be the cancer cell? Or do I want to be a healthy one? It's the same thing, right? It's kind of working all together. If we really are as one, so we're within this one body, how are we going to work? Do you want to work on the negative side of things or on the positive side of things? So.
Yeah. Also, I'll tell you what your aunt said.
Yeah.
You were a very wise lady. What you think about, you bring about as you're feeding the feeling, either good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, she is wise. She's a good aunt.
She's an amazing aunt.
She is, yeah, definitely. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's the understanding of what I have, anyways, for the higher self. I don't know if you want to say something else in the end, or else we're gonna be doing the cards for the week.
I don't know. What else about your higher self? It is lovely when you start calling them in.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I would say it's. I want to hear what. Try calling in your higher self and let us know on the next podcast video what happened. Because I genuinely want to know what everybody else's experience is with kind of not like, well, like first like meeting your higher self and stuff like that, but like having like communicated with them and like how you guys communicate. That would be really cool, to be honest. To see
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, but honestly, I think that's everything I kind of know about higher self.
Yeah, same here. So we can move on.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it next week too. If you guys have any posts. What was that?
Don't feed what you do not want. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely.
Whew. Okay. You ready for the reading?
Yes, I'm ready for the reading. Yeah.
I feel like this is a little bit of a shorter one, but that's not too bad. Or actually,
no. It's been like 45 minutes, and then afterwards we do our reading. It's pretty much on time.
Wow.
But everything's going or feels so much faster. Yeah, it's all good.
Right?
Yeah. And this weekend, wow, it was a really busy weekend for both of us.
I know. I'm gonna sleep amazing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Cool.
I like these cards. Okay. Spirit, please protect this reading with love and light. Please protect me and Jose and the collective here, and bring forth what they need to know in the highest form for the week ahead. Oh, so talking about words, I think I heard gentle.
Oh, nice.
So that's a nice one. I am truth. Alright, that's how many we're gonna take. Seasons of the heart, trust, and unconditional love.
Oh.
Aww. think. So we have I am truth. Very lovely. We have unconditional love. Very lovely. Um, we have trust. It's very lovely. And then seasons of the heart.
Wow.
Okay. What I am getting at this is
It's okay.
I would say be honest with what your truth is and go inwards in yourself. If somebody's like telling you what your truth is, it's probably not your truth. You need to search within yourself. Nobody's going to be able to say this for you. And I find this card to be going through a little bit of soul searching because of how long her hair is. You know, they say that your hair is, you know, what kind of connects you to your soul, like extends your soul, connects it to all of that. So as you're trying to figure out your truth, that may be who you are, what you think, whatever it is that you're trying to find the truth of, you have to go within yourself to find it. So again, maybe a little bit more of an alone journey, but that's okay. And then unconditional love comes through here. It's kind of two people and their hair is like super, super long. I don't know what that one means yet, but what's really drawing my attention is trust and the seasons of the heart. As you may have seen, they're both holding themselves and they're both like, you know, like trying to like protect themselves and everything. Have some trust in yourself and in the universe and making sure that you are okay. Everything's going to be fine. I think because you're trying to protect your energy so much that you're not being aware to the guidance that's trying to be sent to you with that bird kind of above. You're not seeing it because you're too focused on what's happening right now and protecting yourself from things that may not even be coming for you. It's just maybe the universe kind of going, or the world kind of going in its way, and then you find that yourself is, you're being attacked, but in reality you're not. Lift your head up and kind of have some more guidance as well. Season of the heart, I guess, is kind of coming through because everything's getting green again. Everything is kind of wakening up. Green is the color of the heart here as well. And I find that you're really, really trying to be open and you're giving this this attitude and this vision to other people that you are really, really open. But in reality, you still have your arms closed off and you still have a little bit untrusting. Maybe tap into your heart a little bit more. So I think these two things that are saying is go within yourself to find your truth, trust yourself, let go a little bit, and start to allow the messages to come through. Because the universe is trying to help you. And don't give off the idea, it doesn't matter what other people think of you and everything, but genuinely try for yourself to be more open with your heart, to be more caring. I think that when you do that, a lot of more unconditional love right here is going to be coming through in your life. But yeah, I think you could even tap into the energy of unconditional love, and a lot of these things will help each other. That's one of the things I like about journeys. I find that like if your endpoint is like a certain feeling and everything like that, and there's like troubles they have to go through to get to it, even if you just try to tap into the feeling during a meditation, it helps you to really go through these journeys you're ahead of, because typically that's going to be kind of the solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my takeaway from it. What do you think?
Well, actually, the only thing I would add to it, the same thing as actually what Marie-France was saying too. She says, trust in your higher self and follow your heart. Yeah. So I know that you had mentioned that you weren't too sure about unconditional love, like when you were doing the reading.
Yeah.
The only thing that came to me for that card was no expectations. Yeah, that was the only word that kind of came to me. So when you don't have any expectations, you know, you don't have that burden, I guess you can say, on yourself, right? So that's when the trust and the heart and everything kind of really starts opening up, the truth.
Yeah.
So just, kind of be aware of that this week.
You know what? I've heard so many people talk about that. That's so funny that you say that too, because I was talking to a lady the other day, and she said that, when she really had like unprogrammed herself and, had shifted her perspective on things, what really happens was that like all like what's the word again?
No expectations?
No expectations. It's like all her expectations fell away. And that's when the experience really, really comes through.
Came in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Again, our ego.
Expectations are really like problematic. It's a real blocker, I find, for the system, for everything else to kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because you're forcing it. That's why it's not flowing anymore at that point. You're just forcing whatever it is that you want, basically, at that moment in time, right?
Yeah.
So your body knows best. Your higher self knows best too. So just kind of go with it, even if you don't see, what it is that you want to see right away. Just again, it's having that trust within yourself to just wait and be patient.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So this week is, like you said, be gentle with yourself again. That's a huge key, and no expectations. Just do what you got to do. Things don't work out, don't worry about it. Just continue doing, going with the flow of things. So we all have our ups and downs, but when you're forcing things, it just doesn't make anything better. It brings more frustrations and doubts and this and this and that. So just be aware of that. Yeah. Because she's completely right. So almost like all three of the pictures here, the women are kind of like, they're kind of hunched over and protecting themselves, basically. Yeah. And even with the trust, the waters are pretty like turbulent too.
Right.
So watch out on the emotional side of you type thing. Again, the exact same thing. It's just with the expectations. Just don't be too hard on yourself. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm getting out of it. They're really beautiful cards, though.
They really are. I'm like, wow.
And also, all of this is part of your spirit. This is all within your spirit too, right? So, we were talking about that before. So, this is every little aspect of it is within your spirit. So, just trust it and see where it goes from there instead of pushing it along.
We also don't have numbers for Nicole as well.
I know, yeah.
Unfortunately.
There's no numbers on these cards, this time. It's okay. It's all good. Well, thank you again for being here and for watching. And again, if you have any stories or follow-ups or, just like make sure to share with others too. I will look into the whole trying to translate in different languages. Whenever I can possible, that would be really awesome actually. So we can extend our inspiration to other people at the same time. We're as broad as possible. So and until then, we will see you next week. Do you want to say bye, Maya? Yeah, she's going. Okay. She's going.
She's tired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So
cute though.
Little Sophie will say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next Monday. Take care. Ciao.
See ya.